Hello everybody, welcome to this webinar. In this webinar we are going to discuss how you can increase your scores by at least 100 marks in the remaining days for BITSAT 2019. The number of days left for BITSAT 2019 is only 30. So it's now or never. Whatever we are going to discuss in this webinar should be followed in order to increase your marks, thereby increasing the chances of qualifying in BITS campus. Now let us first deal with the myths. What are these myths? They are the ones which tell you that you can't. Let us take them one by one. Myth number 1 tells you that it took me 2 years to prepare for JEE Main. I cannot prepare for BITSAT in 30 days. Myth number 2. I am scoring 180 or above marks in BITSAT mock tests. I cannot increase my scores by at least 100. And thereby clear the cutoff of BITSAT 2019. Myth number 3. BITSAT is the most competitive engineering entrance test and I cannot crack BITSAT. Myth number 4. BITSAT never releases its question papers. I cannot know what to expect in the actual BITSAT. And last myth, BITSAT has an extra section on English and logical reasoning. I cannot score in this section. Now let us take these myths one by one and see whether you really cannot or whether you can. Yes, you can prepare in 30 days. Why? Because you do not need to prepare from scratch. You have already studied the theory in the past 2 years. The theory that is in the syllabus of NCERT, JEE Main is the same as the theory that is present in the syllabus of BITSAT 2019. So you do not need to prepare from scratch. What do you need to do? You need to revise all the concepts, remember all the formulae, get hold of a study guide which lists down all the concepts and formulae for quick revision. While revising, keep your fundamentals clear in all chapters. You need not go into that much detail that is required for JEE Main and JEE Advanced. NCERT is a must. It is enough for theory. And the most important part is practice questions. But remember, do not just practice any question. Practice questions of the difficulty level of actual BITSAT. You will find all these features in our book. The theory that is present in our book is given in such a way that you revise all the concepts and all the formulae in a very short time, and the questions that has been designed for each chapter has been segregated into 3 different levels, and they have been designed by people who are BITSians and IITians. You can increase the marks by at least 100. How you can do that? You can do that by starting to study smartly. That is, you have to apply the pick and choose methodology. Take tests every 2 days from today onwards. Focus on at least 2 chapters per subject in between the tests. This does not mean that you will ignore the remaining chapters. Revise the formulae and the concepts of those chapters, but focus on at least 2 chapters per subject which means that you will have to devote more time on these 2 chapters than the remaining chapters. And do not just focus on any 2 chapters. Pick those chapters which you think that you can cover in the 2 days and in which you can improve. How you can do that? You can take a test, analyze your performance, look at your weak areas and shortlist those weak areas, take up those chapters from the book and start revising the theory, because the theory that is given in the book amply covers all the important points that is present in NCERT. And then do the practice questions at the end of the book. Learn from your mistakes. Second most important thing is to devise a successful test taking strategy. Before taking a test, create targets. For example, in test 1, if you have scored 220, then create a target of attaining at least 250 in the next test and prepare accordingly. Reduce negative marks. Do not do guesswork. Do not do guesswork, I repeat, because BITSAT penalizes you more than any other engineering entrance examination. For every incorrect answer, you will lose -1, but for every correct answer, you will only gain +3, which means that you do not mark an option in a question in which you have the slightest of doubt. Increase your speed and accuracy. How do you do that? In addition to the tests, you have to do timed practice of questions. In our book, the practice questions that are present against each chapter are also present in the app. And in the app, you can attempt those questions in a test format. So do not just practice questions for the whole day. Keep a time limit for each and every question. In that way only you will be able to increase your speed and accuracy. Learn from your mistakes and do not commit them again. Whatever mistakes you are committing in the questions, go through the solutions present in the book. Make a note of it as to where you were committing that mistake. Revise it every single day before going to sleep. In that way, you will not commit them again. And lastly, and the most important point in which you can increase your marks by at least 100 is you have to know your BITSAT before taking the actual BITSAT examination, which means that you have to practice and take tests in the exact BITSAT environment. With this book, you get 2 full-length tests completely free, which you will be able to answer in the exact BITSAT environment and which also has bonus questions. In addition to that, you can go ahead and get the full package of test series, which consists of 15 tests, and if you take each test after every 2 days, it will be more than enough for your BITSAT preparation. The next myth is that you can't crack BITSAT, but yes, you can. Most of the people say that BITSAT is the toughest when it comes to the number of aspirants to the number of seats ratio. But you can easily crack this exam by believing in yourself, by saying to yourself that keep on working hard, you will be able to achieve what you think you will not at this particular time. Follow a proper schedule for preparation. There should be a 30-day study plan which you should follow each and every day without fail. Improve step by step. Improvement is not huge in one go. It is always step by step. Even if you are improving by 5 marks, tell yourself that you have done a good job, and in the next test you are going to improve by at least 10 marks. Keep on working hard and with patience. If you are not able to answer a question, do not lose heart. Learn from the mistakes. Keep a promise with yourself that you will not commit the same error again. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from where you are losing your marks. Do not do that same activity again in the next test. And if you are able to do this, your marks will surely and surely increase by at least 10 at the end of each test. Study from a study guide designed only for BITSAT. Keep on regularly taking tests in order to know your progress. Take a test every 2 days from henceforth. And lastly, and the most important, is do not believe in the naysayers. You can increase your marks by at least 100 if you keep on doing whatever has been discussed in this webinar up till now. Let us now deal with the next myth. BITSAT never releases the question papers. So people say that we can never know what to expect in BITSAT. No, we can, because BITSAT is easier than JEE Main. BITSAT has direct and formula and logical based questions, whereas JEE Main has complex multi-concepted question. So if you get your formula, if you get your fundamentals in place, BITSAT is very easy to crack. The English and logical reasoning section is very easy and one can easily score 75 out of 75, whereas JEE Main does not have such section. We will discuss as to how you can score 75 out of 75 as we go ahead in this webinar. BITSAT preparation level is the same as that of boards. NCERT theory is what is required for BITSAT. But for JEE Main, extra material of tough questions and theory has to be covered. One can crack BITSAT for sure by ample amount of practice of those kind of questions which can be asked in BITSAT. But for JEE Main, one cannot be sure because of the higher level of difficulty of questions. You can score 75 out of 75 in the English and logical reasoning section. How? Because BITSAT tests your basic English language skill, which includes sentence correction, paragraph completion, basic vocabulary. So for this you only have to go through a English newspaper or a magazine and practice questions. There are more than 500 questions in our book which you can go through, which will definitely help you score very high in this section. Whereas in the logical and the visual reasoning section, you have to get familiar with these type of questions, because until now you haven't practiced a single question which belongs to this category. For this, in our book, we have segregated this section into different types like coding, decoding, completing the pattern, and all other different kinds of logical and visual reasoning types which you can practice and thereby gain confidence and score very high in this section. Why is it important? Because scheduling is nothing other than creating a study plan. If you create a study plan, it helps in creating a time chart of your current activities. So, creating a time chart will allow you to see how you spend your day from day to day. Scheduling helps in actually determining the available days and times for studying, which we can mark in our planner or calendar. It helps in determining the study goals. So at the beginning of each week, if we determine what we are going to study and how we are going to accomplish it, it becomes much easier. Stick to your schedule. A study plan works best if it is allowed on a consistent basis. And last and the most important part of it is strategize for effective follow through. One way to ensure you follow through with your plan is to schedule time for other activities. We need to blend our other activities with our study activity. In this way, we can proceed for each and every week till our course gets completed, our revision gets handled, taken care of, as well as improvement and taking mock tests get cared of. But what happens if the problem still persists? That is, if I am not able to follow the schedule, I am not able to improve, I do not like studying a subject, and I am completely stressed out. In this condition, we have to change ourselves. So, what do we do for changing ourselves? We start noticing and try changing our attitude towards our study plan and our behavior while studying. Beware of the student syndrome. Stop procrastination. Do not delay in completing a task. Most of us develop this habit in our student time itself. We have to stop avoiding challenges. So if I do not like a subject, it does not mean that I'll ignore it. We have to start taking up a challenge and start studying a chapter or a subject which we do not like. Obstacles. So we have to persist in the face of setbacks. Even if I do not improve after a particular test, I keep on practicing till I start improving. I keep on putting in effort. We study for at least 9 hours a day, 3 hours for each subject. Keep on doing this at least for 14 days. The results will be there. Learn from your mistakes and feedback on your performance. Know where you stand and interact with your fellow aspirants, experts, and mentors. Try to learn from others' success as well as the feedback which you get from others. All these attitude pointers will help you in improving, in overcoming the problems that you are facing. And the most important question that you ask yourself is, how badly do you want to get into the BITS campus? If it is that bad, then go ahead and bust those myths which we have discussed in this webinar. General tips for the BITSAT preparation is increase your speed, increase accuracy. While practicing, do not use calculators. Start preparation by taking a full-length mock test. Answer a minimum of 100 questions correctly in actual BITSAT and you are through. And do not forget to go through NCERT books. If you want to know your own 30-day plan, visit us at learning.doprep.com or write to us at anshu.singh@doprep.com. Wishing you success ahead from Wiley and DoPrep, your friend and mentor. Thank you.